breaker of this world's chain, we adore thee, whom all men love, spotless, taking man's form. O purifier, thou art above the gunas three, knowledge divine, not flesh, thou whom the cosmos wears, a diamond at its heart. Let us look deep in thine eyes, they are bright with the wisdom of God, that can wake us from Maya's spell. Let us hold fast to thy feet, treading the waves of the world to safety. O drunk with love, God drunken lover, in thee all paths of all yogas meet. Lord of the worlds, thou art ours, who wert born a child of our time, easy of access to us. O merciful, if we take any hold upon God in our prayer, it is by thy grace alone, since all thine austerities were practiced for our sake. How great was thy sacrifice, freely choosing thy birth in this prison, our iron age, to unchain us and set us free. Perfect, whom lust could not taint, nor passion nor gold draw near. O Master of all who renounce, fill our hearts full of love for thee. Thou hast finished with fear and with doubt, standing firm in the vision of God, refuge to all who have cast fame, fortune, and friends away. Without question thou shelterest us, and the world's great sea in its wrath seems shrunk to the puddle that fills the hoofprint in the clay. Speech cannot hold thee, nor mind, yet without thee we think not, nor speak. Love, who art partial to none, we are equal before thy sight. Taker away of our pain, we salute thee, though we are blind. Come to the heart's black cave, and illumine thou light of the light.
Noctam divam sakar
Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swamiji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Raja Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Srimad Premananda Maharaj Ji Ki Jai.
Put this slide. Bottom. So today is a very auspicious day, Swami Premananda, birthday of Swami Premananda Maharaj. Sri Ramakrishna used to go in ecstasy, and he could not bear the touch of others, but it was Swami Premananda who Ramakrishna used to say that his even very bone is pure, and he used to hold him in his divine ecstatic time. So, we'll read his life from God Lived With Them. Sri Ramakrishna was searching for some young boys who he can give his spiritual ideology, and Baburam was one of them. He was born in 1884, June 20. No, sorry. Yes, June 20, 1884, Ramakrishna told him, "You see, I am having some difficulty about my physical needs. It will be nice if Baburam lives with me. Nature of these attendants of mine is undergoing a change. Latu is always tense in spiritual emotion. He is about to merge himself into God. Rakhal is getting into such spiritual mood that he cannot do anything even for himself. I have to get water for him. He is not of much service. So moreover, Rakhal had to visit home. All this because of that. June 30, he told Baburam, do stay with me. It will be very nice. In this mood, I cannot allow others to touch me." And Matangini's mother of Baburam was meeting Sri Ramakrishna. When she visited Dakshineshwar, during this time the master asked her, "Will you give me something?" "Yes, sir, whatever you ask." "Will you give me your son? I want a pure-hearted boy to live here. I am greatly pleased even when he gives me a glass of water." Mother, the Matangini, at once agreed. "It is my great fortune, sir, that you will accept him and that he will live with you." It's a wonderful mother that can give her son to a sadhu. But she asked, "Does anybody give away her son for nothing?" Ramakrishna smiled and asked, "What shall I give you?" Then Matangani mother humbly said, "I have just 2 requests. One is that I may have unflinching devotion for God, and second, the other is that none of my children die before I do." Sri Ramakrishna granted her these two boons. Baburam was born in a village environment in Artpur, and Baburam started his education in the school in the village for a few years, and then he moved to Calcutta and his studies went on there. And they first met Sri Ramakrishna, that when Ramakrishna inquired, the newcomer, his new boy Baburam, learned from Rakhal that there is the master is there. So in the school, he asked Rakhal more about the Dakshineshwar, and they planned to visit him the next Saturday after school hours. In April 8, 82, Baburam reminisced those days, that day of experience, that Brahmananda and I went to Hatkhola Ghat in the west of Calcutta and take a boat for Dakshineshwar. Learning that he has all gone, and when Dakshineshwar erased, there we met Ram Dayal Babu, and learning that he also is going to see Sri Ramakrishna, they got in the same boat ride. It was almost dusk when we reached Rasmuni's Kali Mandir. We went to Master's room and were told they had gone to the temple to pay obeisance to the Divine Mother. Asking us to stay there, Swami Brahmananda went towards the Mother's temple to find the Master. Soon I saw him holding onto the Master very carefully and guiding him, saying, "Step, go up here, down here." I had already heard that Master would often become overwhelmed with ecstasy and lose outer consciousness. Therefore I knew that he was in an ecstatic mood when I first saw him coming. Reeling like a drunken man, he entered the room in that state and sat on the small bedstead. Shortly afterwards, he came back to normal consciousness. When Ramakrishna inquired about the newcomer, Ramdayal introduced him. Ramakrishna said, "Ah, you are a relative of Balaram. Then they are related to us also." "Well, what is your native place?" "Artpur, sir." "And when I must then I must have visited it." "Yes, sir, but how do you know these people?" "When they are sons of Ramprasad Mitra, then I know him, Jhamapukur. So I used to go frequently to them. I know the house of Kalu and Bhulu." Saying this, the Master caught hold of Baburam's hand and said, "Come closer to light. Let me see your face." In the dim light of an earthen lamp, he thoroughly examined Baburam's face, hands and feet, and he expressed great satisfaction. Then he weighed Baburam's forearm by placing it on his palm. It was one of his ways of judging the person's spirituality, and say that this showed a beneficent intelligence. Observing the auspicious sign, the Master expressed his joy, "Very good, very good." That was the first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna. And Baburam was 20 when he first met the Master, though he appeared to be much younger. He was very handsome, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, and rather slim. He had black hair. And then Master, in 1884, on 20th June 1884, the Master asked him, "Tell me, does Baburam intend to continue with his studies?" I said to him, "Continue your studies to set an example to others. I don't want Baburam to tear himself away from his family. It may make trouble at home." And on June 30th, 1884, Master again said to him, "Yesterday I came to know Baburam's inner nature. That is why I have been trying so hard to persuade him to live with me. The mother bird hatches the egg in proper time. Boys like Baburam are pure in heart. They have not yet fallen into the ditches of the lust and gold. They are like a new pot milk kept in it will not turn sour. I need Baburam here. I pass through certain spiritual state when I need someone like him. About Baburam's purity, the master used to say, he is pure, pure to the very marrow of his bones. So he was in company of the master for a long time. Living with Sri Ramakrishna was itself a great education. He taught his disciples through his life, not merely with words. Baburam watched the masters day and night and imbibed the spirit of renunciation and purity, which are the two main pillars of spiritual life. Later, Baburam recalled, one night I was sleeping in the master's room. In the dead of night, I woke up and found him pacing from one end of his room to the other, saying, Mother, I do not want this. Do not bring me honor from men. Don't, Mother, don't. I spit on it. Saying this, he paced back and forth like a madman. I was filled with wonder. I thought, how strange. People are so eager for name and fame, and he is pleading with Mother not to give it to him. Why is this happening before me? Is it to instruct me? The master could not bear any kind of bondage. If the edge of his mosquito curtain was tucked under the mattress, he would feel suffocated. It was instead dropped around the edge of his bed. He could not even button his shirt. We had to do that for him, and neither could he bolt his door. He saw God in everything. One day, someone tore a piece of new cloth in front of him, and he cried out of pain. Baburam Maharaj continues, once I saw a person secretly put money under the master's mattress when he was not in the room. Later, when the master came back, he could not get near the bed. His renunciation was phenomenal. Can an ordinary man conceive of such things? We have seen his ideal life, so we speak with so much conviction. One day Sri Ramakrishna was resting in his room at Dakshineshwar. Baburam and some other young boys were talking with Hajra on the eastern porch of the master. Hajra said to Baburam and others, you are all mere boys. You are visiting Sri Ramakrishna off and on, and he just keeps you satisfied with fruits and sweets. Hold him, praise him, and get something power, wealth, and something from him. As soon as the master heard this from his room, he jumped up from his bed and rushed to the veranda and shouted, Baburam, come to my room right now. Don't listen to his calculating advice. The beggar pesters the rich man, saying, Sir, give me a pice, give me a pice. Being disgusted, rich man throws small coin to him, saying, take this and get out of here. You are my own. You are my very own. You will not have to ask for anything from me. Whatever I have, it is all yours. Master kept a watchful eyes over his would-be monastic disciples. He gave them spiritual instructions and would send them at night to different areas in the temple garden to practice meditation. He generally kept Baburam and Rakhal near him. He even told Holy Mother how many pieces of chapati should be given to each of the disciples. Baburam was supposed to have 4, but Holy Mother gave him 6. When the master came to know about it, he immediately went to the Nahavat and complained that her indiscreet affection might ruin Baburam's future. The Holy Mother firmly replied, why are you so much worried because he had a couple of more chapatis? I shall look after his future. Please don't make an issue about his food. The master understood the Holy Mother's action was justified as she exercised her motherly prerogative towards the child. Ramakrishna could not ordinarily eat any food if it was touched by an impure person or cooked by a non-Brahmin. He observed his Brahminical caste rules as he came to fulfill and not to destroy. Baburam recalled, one day, quote, one day the master asked me, Baburam was a non-Brahmin, to cook food for him, and he ate from my hand. He was so gracious to me. A day or two before his passing away, he asked all of us to feed him pudding, and thus he withdrew all his restrictions. Then we find that Sira Baburam is going for wandering days and leading a life of great austerity. And ultimately, before passing away, Swami Vivekananda called Premananda, and they gave two instructions to Premananda. First, to manage the Belur Math, the headquarters of the Ramakrishna order, and second, not to initiate anyone. He said, if you make disciples, then your disciples will quarrel with and compete with Brahmanandas. That Swami Premananda obeyed these two Swamiji's ideas and maintained the managership of the Belur Math. And it was a great thing to learn from. You can read this book, but I will remember one story, that how Baburam Maharaj used to love the devotees. So he will rather take away the food which is to be given to for Sri Ramakrishna, for the devotees when they come. So one time I heard from Bharat Maharaj, the Abhayananda Maharaj, he was assisting Premananda Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj. So one day in the noon time, some devotees came in hours when everyone's eating was over, and everyone ate. All the devotees are fed, the sadhus are fed, even the cooks, though eat last time, they also are fed. And Belur Math, they don't keep any food, cooked food, for next time, because Thakur's food will be offered every. So they came, and Baburam Maharaj called this Abhayananda, Bharat Maharaj, hey Bharat, these devotees have come, make some arrangement for food. But he said that, Swami, nothing is there. Everything has been thrown away. Even after everyone is fed, these odd hours, and we have nothing, nothing. So go and find, how is that you people all eat so early and my devotees have come? So there is no food and there is no local market in those days. You have to walk so many miles to get a marketplace. And noontime is Indian style. No shops are available. Anyhow, so he found that Baburam said, see what is there in the store and for Thakur's store, Ramakrishna store. And yes, there are some little fruits and sweets are kept. And Baburam said, bring that and give it to the devotees. So Baburam Maharaj, this instruction, Bharat Maharaj was very upset. It is kept for Sri Ramakrishna, and it will be needed when the temple will be opened in the afternoon, say 4:30, 4 o'clock, no? At that time. So what the pujari will offer, there is nothing else. But you give it. Anyhow, he gave out with grudge, and then brought all the fruits and sweets, distributed to the devotees, and then he was angrily, he was walking back and forth on the embankment from Legate House, back of the Legate House to as the extreme end to this end. And Baburam Maharaj relaxingly said that, and he was leaning on the balcony of Swamiji's veranda. And he was angrily pacing back and forth. What is this Baburam Maharaj could give for the devotees, so much devotion for devotee? And Thakur, what will happen? And then as it happened, afterwards in the afternoon, Pujari came and he opened the lock and found that there is no sweets and fruits which he kept for afternoon offering. Then he came to, who had the key? Only two people have key, the Pujari and the manager Maharaj is, Baburam Maharaj's manager is Bharat Maharaj then. And he ran to Bharat Maharaj, what happened, where is the food? Then he angrily said, you ask Baburam Maharaj. And his love for the devotees is more than Thakur. He is so angry. He expressed those ideas as if Baburam Maharaj has done something wrong. And then he was leaning on the balcony, as I said, Swamiji's baranda, still now we can imagine. And then Bharat Maharaj is angrily moving, and Baburam Maharaj observed that. And the Pujari didn't go to Baburam Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj to tell where is the food, what shall I do. Anyhow, he went, he was waiting till few minutes are there, and suddenly Baburam Maharaj saw that one boat is arriving in the Belur Math and the Swamiji's ghat, no? And full of one basket full of fruits and sweets and everything. Then Baburam Maharaj shouted, Bharat, Bharat, you are, see, you want to feed, you think that you are feeding Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna arranges his own food. Go now, give how much you want to give food, offering to the afternoon. So that is very extraordinary in the life of Baburam Maharaj, the devotees, love for the devotees. And many Calcutta University bright boys, the attraction of Baburam Maharaj was such that they become a monk. And that's why Sir Asutosh Mukherjee was the Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University, the founder. He used to say, there is one Baburam Maharaj in Belur Math. He's spoiling the brain of the brightest boys of the of the country. They could have done much great work in the cause of the nation, but they are all becoming monk. Anyhow, that was his. And he used to train the brahmacharis also in very hard training, and everywhere he used to prove that it is Ramakrishna, it is Ramakrishna, it is Ramakrishna. So we have no time, so we end here. But this is a great life. We should read Swami Premananda and see how a life can be dedicated to the cause of Baburam Maharaj. Turiyananda Swami said, Baburam Maharaj wrote a letter to Hari Maharaj. Brother, see, look at my condition. I am day and night engaged with the chores of the Belur Math, no? Till taking care of the cows and the cooking and this and that. And you are established in Brahmagyana and you are doing all this. So what will be my head? Then Baburam, the wonderful letter is there. Hari Maharaj said, brother, don't hide from us. I know who you are. You showed me that day, I remember that day when you take me to every place of the Belur Math, and there was nothing but Ramakrishna in every place. So I still remember you live with Ramakrishna. So that is the Sri Ramakrishna's unique child. Each one is unique, and they have to be meditated differently because their life will purify our heart. So with this auspicious day, we can think of him as a love incarnate. And he said, I will conclude with this reading, on Sunday, the March 5, 1916, there was an annual general meeting of the Ramakrishna Mission, and that was held at Belur Math. And when the agenda of the meeting was completed, then Brahmananda Maharaj asked Premananda, Baburam Maharaj, to give a talk. And he said, then in that Premananda Swami then spoke to the audience. He said, elephants have two sets of teeth, one inside the tusks and another outside to chew food. The activities of our mission are like elephants' tusks. Whatever work you may do, managing hospitals or conducting relief work, unless you have character, all will be in vain. What is wanted is character, purity, steadfast devotion to God. If you have them, you will prosper, otherwise you will totally fail. To looking at the lay members, he says, it is not good being only members of the mission. You must build up your own character. You must make the whole world your own through love, so that people may find inspiration from your selfishness, selflessness, renunciation and purity. You must drive away all egotism and pride from your heart and consider yourselves as servants of the Lord and thus serve humanity. And he continued, our master never sought name and fame, and so they have come to him in profusion. Swamiji often said in his later life that he was disgusted with name and fame. Be you all men of character, grow into God. Only then will the work of the mission prosper. This is my earnest prayer to all of you. So that is the Premananda Swami's expectation from us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.